Hi, and welcome to the Rebel Ballerina Show. I'm your host, Lisa Loree, the Rebel Ballerina, as you might have guessed. So, yes, I am wearing some Christmas attire, even though it is just merely mid November. But my daughter has rubbed off on me every year. She wants to start Christmas actually in July. Well, really, she just doesn't want me to take down the Christmas decor ever. She loves Christmas. It's really fun. Even though she's an adult, it's even more fun now that she's an adult. So I am a little bit Christmased up right now and will be for the rest of the season, just to get a nice fill of it before putting it all away for next year, which is just really strange. I don't know. Is it just you or me? Is it just me? But I feel like this year has flown by exponentially faster than any other year. Like, are we seriously spinning faster, perhaps? Did we gain speed? It sure seems like it. So, anyway, as we head into the holidays, this can be a kind of a rough time, you know, for many reasons. I know for a good long many years for me, the holidays were not a really fun time. I mean, had a huge distraction called the Nutcracker. So that was good because I was so focused on rehearsing and performing and doing many, many shows, usually 36 or so shows a year or like per season of Nutcracker. Lots of fun stories from that time. But once it was done, and then, doing well, and even prior to that, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas and New Year, it was pretty rough. And particularly Christmas and New Year, because after we were finished performing, there were the post performance blues because there was so much put into these shows and it's really astonishing. You're just putting everything you have, and then all of a sudden it just stops. And not only does it just stop, but all the adrenaline rushes and um, the euphoria from being on stage and all that, it's just done. And then you're just kind of left with nothing. And that was, of course, compounded for me in particular because I didn't have my mom. And that made it doubly difficult to get through holidays. So as we get into this season, I do want to just give a moment to the folks who are dealing with some really heavy shit. Loss, in particular, loss is such a difficult thing to deal with at this time of year. Thanksgiving's coming up, followed, of course, by Christmas and New Year, and there are traditions and things that you want to be able to do again, but someone's not there. And that's really hard. And this whole new norm sucks. It's like, what new norm? This isn't normal. This isn't how it's supposed to be. And you're right, it's not. It's not how it's supposed to be, but this is what we have now. So, for a very, very many great number of years, I really did not enjoy Christmas. I enjoyed Nutcracker because I got to perform. I got to do the thing that I do. But when it came to the actual holiday, didn't like it. Didn't really want to be here anymore for that kind of celebration. It's like I just wanted to hibernate. Tell me when it's all over so I can come out and then I can get ready for the next show. Tough times. And it doesn't have to be a personal loss as in a person, though I think that's obviously an extraordinarily devastating situation. And I can think of a few people just off the top of my head right now who are dealing with exactly that. And not a good time. But it's also, if you're going through a divorce, that's a big one as well. Going through a divorce or some kind of family upheaval, or maybe there's a dramatic illness going on, and things are just not the same. And it's kind of hanging by a thread. It's very difficult. It could even be financial. What if there's a loss that way? And you're scrambling, and now it's the holidays, and it's like, "Ugh, how am I going to afford gift giving or even putting a nice meal on the table?" It's tough. There are some pretty big, fierce things for the holidays that just are not that great. And so I love celebrating now. After all of the different things I've been through, I love celebrating now, but it certainly wasn't always that way. And I remember how tough it was for those times, during those times, for me to get through. So I'm just giving a bit of reverence, I guess I would say, to those of you who are now we're in it. Halloween's over. We just did Veterans Day. Now we're in it, and it's just not great. I absolutely hear you and would love to hear from you. Literally, chime in, because this whole time is really, it's not about me. I mean, I'm the one hosting. It's my show, but it's not about me. It's about what's going on with you and how, we can help each other through these tough times in each other's lives. And I've gone through a lot of stuff, and I have some pretty deep understanding of how hard this is. So I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of you a lot, and I do every year for the last 40 years, because that's when my mom passed away 40 years ago, and I still feel it during the holidays. Granted, once I started having kids of my own, that brought fresh eyes to the season, but that still has that tinge of, loss, you know? And so I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of you, and I know how difficult it is. And I definitely want you to, if you're not going to reach out here on this podcast, please feel free to message me or go to Rebel Fawn Mentoring or even my personal page. Feel free and just check in. I'm concerned. This is a tough, tough time. And this is when a lot of people feel very, very isolated and alone. And I also know what that feels like tremendously, as you know. As a matter of fact, that's the whole reason for my book, my ebook, which is From Almost Ending It All to Fun Hot Bitch Mom, because that's where I was. I was at that. And that's the other side of the story. I was in that place, ready to end it all. But now I'm not. Now I'm in a place where I'm enjoying and being able to celebrate holidays again with fun and joy and excitement rather than dread. And so I'm just thinking of you today who are going through a tough, tough time. And I am not kidding at all. Please contact me if you're feeling really, really low. Reach out. I wouldn't reach out. And that's part of the problem. That's where I was. I simply would not say anything. And I just played happy. I performed that role of happy so freaking well that even my own sister didn't recognize that I was not happy at all. Granted, it's not like we lived down the street from each other or anything, and we didn't have a lot of contact with each other, and that was by design by my ex because that isolation part, real dandy, isolating, that's what they do. They isolate so that you feel, well, isolated. And then you really can't turn to anybody. And then, of course, you feel stupid, like I felt stupid once I recognized that, oof, this is a really, really bad decision that I made going through this marriage because it was through deception and I didn't realize what was really going on at the time of the vows or I would never have made them. And that's the reason for the deception because he knew that. He knew darn well that I was never going to just say, "Okay, yeah, I'll stop dancing just cuz you want to get married." No way. That was not going to happen. So there's the deception in order to make it happen. And that's a really hard thing when you wake up to it and then you realize, then you just feel dumb and duped because I was. And then, of course, I chose to stay, which makes me feel even worse because then I added that part. I was halfway around the world, didn't know how on earth I would get home, but still, I chose to stay. And that adds to that element of feeling dumb, stupid, whatever it is that you want to throw into that fill in the blank. And therefore, it's even harder to speak up because we feel like, oh, I'm just going to look like an idiot. So we don't. I didn't. I didn't speak up until it literally nearly cost me my life. And then I had to make a huge decision. Was I going to leave the marriage or leave the planet? And obviously, I chose to leave the marriage or I wouldn't be here. But yeah, my sister had no idea. We would talk to each other occasionally, and it would be a good long talk, but it wasn't like every day or even every week. It was usually every few months. So we'd spend a lot of time just catching up on the daily comings and goings, what's going on with the kids and that kind of thing. But on a personal thing, I never spoke about what I was really enduring and the insidious abuse that was going on, the controlling and all of that. And that's why I was shocked when I told her I'm getting divorced and she was like, "Oh, thank God." And then gave me this whole entire list of the things that she saw that I didn't know other people saw, and I didn't speak up about it, and she just thought I was happy, and then I tolerated it because I was happy. And that was all because I chose not to speak. I lost my voice, you know? I just didn't feel comfortable speaking up, and it nearly cost me everything. I mean, it cost me a lot, don't get me wrong. It cost me all right. It cost. But I literally could have just decided, "I'm out," and that would have been it. And then my kids would have been stuck with him. Well, they would have been stuck with him, but as it was during the divorce, he sent them away anyway, so he wouldn't have to pay child support and to drain all of the assets. Very calculated. So they were not in a place where I could just leave, as I very mistakenly thought. So the not speaking up part That's a hallmark of being a fawn. It's just a huge red flag of being a fawn when you really can't speak to anybody. Maybe a therapist. Maybe you might feel safe speaking to a therapist because, that's their job and there's a privacy thing. But even with that, it can be difficult to speak up. So my challenge as you're going through this season, especially if you're in a place where you're in deep grief or something's just off, you don't feel good, and you're in a place of darkness, speak up, please, because no one knew. I was so happy. I looked so good. I mean, on the outside, everyone thought, "Oh, we're the perfect family. Yeah, we have two autistic kids, very high functioning, did a ton of work to help them through with different therapies and things." And I was busy taking care of that. That's part of the exhaustion, of course. And I was doing it pretty much on my own. I mean, obviously, it was being paid for by my ex, but I was doing the doing, and that was tough. That became really, really tough. It was a heavy load. And yeah, it was a struggle to do all of that. So I still looked though like I was happy. I helped put on the image that I was supposed to keep strong and portray that we're just a solid family and everything is hunky dory and we are just a happy family and we're good. When inside, oh, we were the farthest thing from good. Certainly me. On in my own person, I was disappearing and disappearing and disappearing, and I never said, but um wait, I I need to be able to speak. Never happened. Well, I spoke, but in a very different kind of way. When I left my marriage, it was definitely a moment of being a rebel, big time. And I had no idea how that was happening, what I was even doing. I think it was way on a subconscious level. It was literally do this or you're done kind of thing. So I really don't want you to get to that point. That's the real gist here. Why? Why get to that point when you do have people around you that love you and care about you? I'm certainly one of them. Even if we've never met, meeting doesn't matter. You're a person and I care about you. And especially facing holidays when you're going through deep struggle, deep grief. Oh man, I know it is. It sucks. It just there are very little synonyms to describe just how horrible it really can be. But I've been through a lot of that. So please do not hesitate to contact me. Definitely reach out to the people around you. You might be so very surprised at how many people actually love you and care about you and have your back, and you just don't even know it. And it's very fearful. I know that is an extraordinary fear to speak up. But you know what? What's the alternative? What's the alternative? We just keep going down that road into more and more darkness like I did. That was my alternative, and I did it. I took that alternative almost to the very end. Almost. Had the plan. I knew exactly what I was going to do. And even being a fawn, I was gonna make sure no one else was involved because I didn't wanna hurt anyone else. So even in planning my own suicide, I was being a fawn in that regard. But why drop to that level? Why go there when you really don't have to? I'm pretty darn certain that there is someone around you, and I can say that with certainty because I am here saying that I care. And I want you to have joy and peace, peace in your life, happiness, fun, excitement, and be able to face holidays without the tremendous grief. And yeah, if it's really fresh, it's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be tough for a good long while. But it doesn't have to be in the immensity that it could be if you're alone in it. So please reach out, speak up. If you need help with this, I'm telling you, I am so happy to help. And as a matter of fact, some of this stuff you'll learn just by reading my little ebook. And it is an easy read. It's not like page after page after page of super tiny font and all that kind of stuff. No, it's designed so that you can just read through. It's more like a pleasure read, but you might actually learn something from it. That's really the point. So again, my ebook, From Almost Ending It All to Fun Hot Bitch Mom. This is the stuff. Living while still occupying a body for a super long time. And I'm telling you, the contrast is remarkable between what I felt then and what I feel and experience now. It's dramatic. And the thing is, I'm not so like, ooh, I'm so special because I figured this out. No, everybody could have this. This is how it's supposed to be. This is what life is supposed to be. And it's not just for a select few. This is the way life is supposed to be for everybody. But we get conditioned as fawns to believe that only the people in charge get to have that wonderful life. Only those who are a certain way, they get to enjoy. But because I'm supposed to just be a doormat. And therefore, that's what I'm going to do because that's what I'm supposed to do because that's what I was told to do. And that's what I was conditioned to do. And that was to put myself so far on the back burner, I'm not even in the kitchen anymore. So, this is a whole thing of conditioning and it's a bunch of bullshit. It got me and you, if you're a fawn, it got us through childhood, necessarily so, because there's no other way to survive. Really, you have to do something to survive when you're in a traumatic experience, a prolonged traumatic experience, and you have no control. But now, as adults, we have control. We have all the control in the world, only we just don't know that. Well, I'm telling you, you do. And you have the means to change that trajectory of darkness and constant people pleasing and feeling exhausted and putting yourself very last, if at all, to blossoming into exactly who you're supposed to be and recapturing your dreams, living in joy, living in peace and exhilaration and fun. Oh my gosh, fun. Fun is just so underrated. We should be having way more fun. Way more fun. And it is possible. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm speaking this right now, because I've lived the other side and I know that this is possible even for you. You may not believe it. You may feel like you're not worth it. Yes, you are. This is how life is supposed to be: joyful, fun, exciting, bringing out your best, being who you're supposed to be, not what everybody else tells you. It's what you are supposed to be. So, again, check out that ebook. And I really hope that you will um, at Rebel Fawn Mentoring or on my personal, Lisa Loree, because I am here to hear you and reach out to the people around you. Don't go through these holidays suffering needlessly. Start working towards being you and let us hear your voice, right? Let's hear your voice. So anyway, I know that was more of a somber kind of thing, but I always want to remember folks right around now, because I've been there and it's not fun. It's not easy. But I'm also here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. So check out the ebook and talk, speak, and I will see you next week. Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. That's on Pacific time. Join me again, and we'll talk about some more stuff. Probably more lively next time. So enjoy your day and your week, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for coming.